This video is about time travel paradox called a bootstrap paradox or causal loop in movies. It's where information or an object from the future is introduced to the past through time travel, resulting in there being no clear origin or creation for the object or information. I'm not going to mention movies with multiple paradox like Terminator series, Bill and Ted, or even Looper, which the movie itself is named after causal loops. I'll try to get a friend to help explain it here.
This is going to sound pretty wild. Somehow we've entered what seems to be a temporal causality loop. We think we're stuck in a specific fragment in time and that we've been repeating that same fragment over and over again.
Thanks, Jordy, but I'm not talking about people stuck in a time loop, like in Groundhog Day or Edge of Tomorrow or Sam in that one episode of Supernatural. Here, I'll let the doctor try to explain it a little bit better.
So there's this man, he has a time machine. Up and down history he goes, zip, 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 getting into scrapes. Another thing he has is a passion for the works of Ludwig van Beethoven. And one day he thinks, what's the point of having a time machine if you don't get to meet your heroes? So, off he goes to 18th century Germany. But he can't find Beethoven anywhere. No one's heard of him. Not even his family have any idea who the time traveler is talking about. Beethoven literally doesn't exist. This didn't happen, by the way. I've met Beethoven. Nice chap. Very intense. Loved an arm wrestle. No, this is called the Bootstrap paradox. Google it. The time traveler panics. He can't bear the thought of a world without the music of Beethoven. Luckily, he brought all of his Beethoven sheet music for Ludwig to sign. So he copies out all the concertos and the symphonies, and he gets them published. He becomes Beethoven. And history continues with barely a feather ruffled. My question is this: who put those notes and phrases together? Who really composed Beethoven's Fifth?
Here's just one example of a bootstrap paradox from Back to the Future. Of course, Doc Brown was always talking about time paradoxes and the damage it can do to the space-time continuum. But Marty goes back in time, sings Johnny Be Good in 1955. Chuck Berry then records it and becomes famous for it for Marty to hear in the future. So there's no actual origin to the song. It's just like the doctor was talking about with Beethoven's music.
All right, this is an oldie, but well, it's an oldie where I come from. Johnny, go, go, go! Johnny, be good.
Chuck, it's Marvin, your cousin Marvin Berry. You know that new sound you looking for? Well, listen to this.
Here's another example of information being transferred through the bootstrap paradox. Scotty goes to the past and gives this man information about a future invention called transparent aluminum in trade for a product that's available in that time. In essence, making this man the inventor of transparent aluminum.
Well, this is a fine place you have here, Dr. Nichols.
Thank you. And I must say, Professor, your knowledge of engineering is most impressive.
Yes, back home we call him the miracle worker.
Indeed. May I offer you something, gentlemen?
Dr. Nichols, I might be able to offer something to you.
Yes?
I notice you're still working with polymers.
Still? What else would I be working with?
Aye, what else indeed? I'll put it another way. How thick would a piece of your plexiglass need to be at 60 feet by 10 feet to withstand the pressure of 18,000 cubic feet of water?
Oh, that's easy. 6 inches. We carry stuff that big in stock.
I have noticed. Now suppose, just suppose, I were to show you a way to manufacture a wall that would do the same job, but be only 1 inch thick. Would that be worth something to you, eh?
You're joking.
Perhaps the professor could use your computer.
Please.
Computer? Computer? Ah. Hello, computer.
Just use the keyboard.
The keyboard. How quaint.
Transparent aluminum?
That's the ticket, laddie.
It'd take years just to figure out the dynamics of this matrix.
Yes, but you would be rich beyond the dreams of avarice.
So, is that worth something to you? Or should I just punch up clear?
No. No. Not now, Madeline! What exactly did you have in mind?
Well, a moment alone, please. You realize, of course, if we give him the formula, we're altering the future.
Why? How do we know he didn't invent the thing?
Yeah.
Now we'll move on from information being transferred to objects being transferred through the Bootstrap paradox of time travel. In Somewhere in Time, an old woman in 1972 gives a playwright a pocket watch. 8 years later, he falls in love with a woman through a picture. He finds out she was an actress in 1912. He travels through time. She ends up with a pocket watch. She, in turn, becomes the old lady from his past.
We shouldn't cut the mask. You know, we save those for later. No, those faces are nice. Just leave them like that and cut them next time. Hmm?
Come back to me.
Was she? I never saw her in my life.
What did she give you?
Oh, my God.
It's a party or what? Let's have some cake.
A few inches later.
What time do you think it is?
I don't know. I don't care. I love you. Oh, don't look. Come on.
It's 5 o'clock.
Really? I don't feel sleepy somehow, do you?
No. The first thing I intend to do for you.
You've already done.
Well, the second thing, then.
What?
Buy you a new suit.
I don't understand. Nobody seems to like my suit.
Well, can you blame them?
Oh, wait a minute. I think my suit is terrific. I mean, what's wrong with this? I don't care. So what if it's 10 years old?
Or at least 15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's fabulous. Look, let me show you. It's really great. See, the first-class condition. The sleeves fit. It's pretty good for me because my arms are about 9 feet long. And got pockets everywhere. I could pull rabbits out of here. Oh, yeah, this is the best part. This is a special coin compartment for emergency.
Richard. Richard. Richard! Richard! Richard!
Next is Time Rider, The Adventures of Lyle Swan. Lyle's a Baja motocross rider. He wears a pendant for good luck that's been passed down in his family from generation to generation. He meets up with a woman in the past after he's sent to the Wild West through some accident in a scientific experiment. Later on, she takes the medallion from him and he realizes that she's his great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, so he's his own great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa.
What's this?
It was my well, I don't know, way back there someplace, great-grandfather's. My grandmother stole it from him.
Good.
As a reminder of one incredible night they had together. He took off and she went to LA to find him, but never did. She started her own business. Nobody remembers what, at least they ain't saying. And became the great matriarch of the Swan clan. She passed it on down to her granddaughter, and unlike that, till Mom gave it to me when I was 21. Anyway, it's supposed to bring me luck.
Does it work?
Does it ever?
A few moments later.
Claire! Come on, give my hand! Come on! Nobody else comes! That's it! This is when you don't realize what you're fooling with! No, wait a minute, please! Claire! Hurry up! Let's get the hell out of here! No! Wait 1 minute! Claire! Come on! Claire! No, Mr. Swan! I'll explain when we get back to our own time! But nobody else comes! Wait a minute! Claire, come on! Let's go!
My grandmother stole it from him. As a reminder of one incredible night they had together. He took off and she went to LA to find him, but never did. She started her own business. Nobody remembers what, at least they ain't saying. And became the great matriarch of the Swan clan. Anyway, it's supposed to bring me luck.
Next we have a pair of glasses that are gifted to Captain Kirk.
Admiral Kirk.
I'm sorry, Admiral Kirk, by Dr. McCoy in Star Trek II in the future, where in Star Trek IV they travel to the past, and he ends up selling the glasses at an antiques dealer for money for them to use in the present time.
Now, you open this one.
I'm almost afraid to. What is it? Klingon aphrodisiacs?
No.
Bones. This is charming.
For most patients your age, I usually recommend Retinox 5.
I'm allergic to retinox.
Exactly. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes, 18th century American. Quite valuable. Are you sure you want to part with them?
How much would you give me for them?
Excuse me. Weren't those a birthday present from Dr. McCoy?
And they will be again. That's the beauty of it. How much?
Well, they'd be worth more if the lenses were intact. I'll give you $100.
Is that a lot?
And my final example for this video comes from the movie Time After Time, where H.G. Wells travels from the past to the future. And during his travel, his eyeglasses get broken, his time machine. Where he lands is in the middle of a collection of his works and artifacts from his life. He finds an unbroken pair in his desk and trades them out with the broken pair, but when he travels back in time at the end of the movie, he takes that unbroken pair with him.
Never.
Upon his graduation from London University, Wells taught at the Home Academy and wrote a biology textbook. A bout with tuberculosis, however, stamped his overwork and forced him into a period of convalescence, during which he became isolated